Christian Reasonda, and I'd like to say thank you to the Wendy Lindo Show, and of course, Miss Wendy Lindo for getting me here to guest on this wonderful show. It has been such an experience, being on this set, this high caliber production. Yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Wendy Linda Show and the Business Connection Christmas edition. So, for today's episode, I am very excited because I have this young entrepreneur, producer, coach, videographer, name it. He has it all. Sana all. So, hindi ko na po papatagalin because I am so excited to get to know him personally. So, without further ado, let me introduce Christian Reasonda.
Hey, I appreciate that enunciation ng Reasonda. Because I always say it like that, Christian Reasonda.
Reasonda. I
Yeah.
love your last name. Good thing you
Thank you.
told me how to pronounce it. Because I was like, Reasonda. But, it's so I'm so thankful that you're here. Because actually, we already met when I was still starting. We had, I think, we're comparing notes because I saw that you're also a COO of Hiraya,
Yeah.
Hiraya Media.
Hiraya Media. Yeah.
So, you're young. You just told me you're 27, but you have all these accolades. You have a lot of things in your portfolio. So maybe you can inspire all the viewers. Like at the young
I
age, you
hope.
accomplish a lot of things.
Yeah, I hope. First of all, thank you for having me here. Actually, it was last night when Wendy Lindo called me. It was not too long ago, not even 12 hours ago. So kagabi, she called me and she's like, "Hey, can you guess?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have something planned. I have a shoot actually for a wedding." And then I'm like, "Nope." When the Wendy Lindo calls you and asks you to guest, cancel everything. So here I am. So again, thank you so much for having me here.
Grabe. Let me tell you something about it. I think it is God's plan. You know why? Because when we were just texting like 2 days ago, and then I told you that I want to invite you to my show, and you asked me, is this the one for your Christmas show? And I said, let me get back with you because I already have a lineup. But suddenly last night, someone canceled. So it's not meant. And the first thing in my mind is you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's why you're
Thank you.
here.
Thank you so much.
I'm not saying that, I prayed to cancel that. But, the last minute and you're there, you're like, I'm going there, I'll be there. And I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just asked what time. 11 a.m. I'm like, okay, I'm not a morning person, but this is the Wendy Lindo, and I mean, I just love the setup. If you hear this, this is nice audio. This is professional level kind of audio, lighting, everything. And I'm like, I'm so excited. I was so excited last time. Sabi ko lang, okay, 11 a.m. Okay, I'll be there. 11 a.m. And then I got here like what, 10:30?
I know.
Sobrang excited ako kasi wala lang. This is such an experience, and it's the first, I think, that I've encountered a production like this by Filipinos. Rarely do we see productions as grand as this, and I'm like, well, I'm here for the experience, and I'm here to really connect, and then just tell my story.
Yeah, so now I really wanted to know who is Ria Sonda. You, there's a lot of things that you're doing, pero how did you start in the entertainment industry?
Okay, saan ko sisimulan?
Nung ano ka pa lang, nung when you were in the Philippines, let's go back when you were still in the Philippines. Ano ba yung passion mo?
Okay, so sige, simulan ko. Gusto ko lang for context, so that you would have
Yes.
the contrast. For like the first parts of my life, I was a science geek. Like high school pa lang ako, kabisado ko ng anatomy at physiology. I'm really a science geek. Chemistry, biology, anything science, because my mind has been very curious. It's an inquisitive mind. Parang lahat tinatanong ko, lahat. I want answers. What is this made of? Why are we here? Stuff like that. So therefore, hence, I wanted to be a doctor as early as what, 8 years old, 9 years old, I wanted to be a doctor. So yun, I dedicated like both my elementary years and my high school years to become one. And then uh, first choice was really a pre-medicine course. Ano yun, I went to FEU, Far Eastern University in Manila, because they're, well, basically my ninong was a graduate, was an alumnus of FEU medicine, biology and medicine. And I'm like, okay, I want where he studied because growing up, he's my idol basically kasi doctor, surgeon. And then so I went to study medtech for 2 years, and then on my second year, I became a courtside reporter for FEU, for UAAP, for Yahoo Philippines, and then you know, everything just became what do you call this? Became obvious. Na parang, uy, bigla ko na lang na-realize na, oh, wait, you are a social guy. You know how to talk. You know how to, you basically know how to entertain people and stuff like that. And so I made a leap of faith. And I'm
Wow.
like, okay, sige, mag-ano na ako, mag-shift na ako. And that was the time, that moment of me deciding to transfer, to shift from my course to another, was also the time that we got our migration papers. So pumunta kami dito. So point of entry was in Hawaii. In Hawaii, I made my decision. I'm like, if I'm gonna stay here, I would have to pursue medicine kasi maganda yung medical
Yes.
program dito. And that's in Hawaii. So basically, it's the U.S. And all the education benefits that a resident or a citizen can have is better than the Philippines. Sabi ko, hey, I can further my studies here. But then I realized, iba pala yung gusto mo sa mahal mo. It's what you like is something from what you love.
Yes.
And it took me a decade to realize that what I love is actually connecting to people. It's not just asking.
Yeah.
It's not just learning. It's not just getting the information, but also to connect, to have that kind of a connection on a deeper level, and it's not just the physical.
Yes.
And then so, sabi ko, oy, I really like this. I really like talking. I really, di ba, ang tagal ko nagsasalita na for how many minutes? Di ba? Yun, I really love,
Oo.
I see the beauty in conversations. And I feel like this has been my passion. I really want
Maybe
to talk.
this is your calling.
And maybe this is what that was my
Yes,
calling.
yeah.
And so I answered it. Shifted.
Shifted.
And you know how Filipino families are. 'Di ba? It's either engineering,
Nursing.
nursing,
Doctor,
medicine,
yes.
or
Anything
law.
about healthcare, yeah.
Or law. Yung
Yeah.
tatlo lang na yun. My dad is an engineer. My ninong was a doctor. Is a doctor. And then law was not really my thing. Takot ako kasi sa mga judge.
Criminals.
Takot ako, no? Takot ako sa ganun. So sabi ko, okay, it's either math
Those
or
ano lang,
science.
oo, matters.
And then, yun. Tapos parang nung nalaman nila na nag-shift ako. So again, I shifted when I came back. I came back alone to the Philippines. So lahat sila dito nagstay. Family, they migrated. They immigrated themselves. They planted themselves again here. So ako, I chose the not so famous route. Kasi syempre, when you're a Filipino, given the chance to migrate, you would choose that.
Of
Because
course.
the grass is
Anyone,
greener.
yes. Anyone
Diba?
would want to be here. in
Pero
the
parang
US.
sa akin, may gut feeling ako na
You'll grow.
I'll grow more
Yeah.
there. Kasi feeling ko may hinder ako
Yes.
dito. Kasi it's another adjustment. Kasi when you move, and I think this is a story of immigration that is not told, that is not spoken about. Yung transfer from a place to another, because the environment, the physical,
It's different,
whatever, it's different.
yeah.
It affects you.
Adjusting.
It's adjusting. It's physically
yes.
adjusting. It's the culture that affects you.
Yes.
It's the environment that affects you. And I'm like, I wasn't ready for that. And that was a conscious decision that time. That was 2013. I was what?
Naks.
19. I was 19.
Teenager pa.
Teenager pa ako nun.
Grabe.
19. And I'm like, nope. I'm standing firm
Yeah.
on my decision. Mama,
At
papa.
the young age, ah?
At a young age.
Oh, wow.
Ma, pa, uwi ako. Tatapusin ko yan.
Yeah.
And then sabi nila, well, it was a, what do you call this? Parang merong hindrance noon financially kasi syempre
Yeah.
again that's another story of
Oh,
immigration, the
yes.
financial
Yes.
aspect of it kasi syempre from Philippine peso
to
to US dollars.
convert.
Ang hirap nun. Madali
Yeah.
kapag the other way around. But from Philippine peso to US currency, that's a big leap. That's a
Yes.
threshold na medyo mahirap mag-adjust. So sabi ko, okay, parang papag-aralin ko sarili ko. So that started. So first year ako sa Masscom. So nag-shift ako from medtech to Masscom. 2 years ako nag-medtech, 1 year na lang, ano na dapat yun? White uniform. So I shifted to Masscom. So nagulat ang lahat. Like the entire school was like, wait, bakit hindi ka nag-battery exam? Bakit hindi ka ganyan?
Yes.
Sabi ko, I'm here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hindi, mag-shift na ako. And then, that time, the program head of Masscom just signed my papers. When I went to his office, Sir Joven, shout out to you. Pasok lang ako, sabi ko, sir, shift na ako. Sabi niya, welcome.
Talaga?
Because
No,
they
it's
welcome
very
me.
interesting kasi at the young age, parang you already know what you want. Parang, di ba, andun ka sa Philippines, everyone wants to come here in the US kasi like what you said, greener pasture, a lot of opportunities. But you're thinking on a different level eh.
Yeah,
Parang, oo.
I always thought of myself as
Parang,
parang
I can say
Iba.
you're also gifted
iba talaga ako mag-function
Yes,
as a
mag-function,
person.
yeah.
Na parang I would rather be in strife and learn than to be comfortable and be
Yes.
stagnant.
And average.
I hate the word average.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't want to say that.
No. I
average
mean, siguro yun
But,
yung
yeah,
yun yung naging reason kung bakit ako nag-strive. Kasi ayoko lang ng word na average. Parang average seems, alam mo yan, parang walang ka-art. Walang ka-soul yung average. Parang,
Just like our grades in the school, diba?
Yeah,
How's
diba?
your, diba? How's your
average ka.
grades? Average.
I mean, yes,
Like,
it's passing, but where is the story behind?
Yes, that's
Diba?
true.
Parang so siguro ganun ako nag-function. But anyway, so when I started, so I shifted, diba? So mag-isa ako sa Philippines.
Wow.
So that's another
Saan ka nakatira nun? By yourself then?
Lipat actually. Well, meron kaming bahay. The house that I grew up that I grew up at is in Pasig. So yun, childhood house ko yun. Doon nakatira yung family ni mama, like mga tita ko, extended family house. So the typical Filipino household. So Pasig. Pero that time, nagdo-dorm ako. Kasi minsan, nakikitulog na lang ako kasi my schedule, because I was a working student, my schedule was, yung mga gig ko nun, mag-host ako sa bar, mag-PPA ako sa mga production ganyan, tapos rarakit ako mga extra sa music video and stuff like that. That's how I learned. That's how I
those money that you're getting from that
diretso
work.
sa tuition.
Diretso sa tuition talaga. So you never depend on your parents.
Well, I depended on them for like the basic necessities.
Minimum basic.
Siguro yung mga miscellaneous fees, yung mga ganyan. Kasi medyo
it's
malaki
expensive
talaga.
talaga rin.
Medyo, oo. Tapos so, that was the first year. The first year was kind of chaotic. Kasi
Yes.
again, adjustment, wala akong
Adjusting
pera, ang hirap, ganyan. But I had that decision to graduate ako, papatunayan ko na tama. Kasi medyo nagkaroon ng gap sa family. Kasi syempre, for like how many years, parang na-condition sila na, ito yung doktor ng pamilya, ito yung magiging kasunod sa yapak
Next,
nito, ganyan.
oo.
So parang biglang nag-shift. Parang, ano ngayon ang Masscom? And again, Masscom or that kind of industry in the Philippines, it's not welcome. Diba? It's not encouraged.
Hindi,
The parents doesn't
yeah.
encourage
Yes.
their children to take up art courses.
Especially those parents that they know that they're going to the US. Kasi that's why they're kind of pushed. I've been
Yeah.
pushed to take up nursing. I'm a nurse, so I also adjusted, yeah.
So,
That's now I'm here. 'Cause this is what, kaya nga sabi ko, I can relate to you.
Iba ang what you like and what you
Iba-iba.
love,
Yes.
diba? And I really think that this is what you love. But yeah, so that started my career. And then the following year, I went to theater. So a university theater, FEU's university theater organization. It's called the FEU Theater Guild. I auditioned and I became part of it. And they gave me like full tuition. So
It's
that
like a scholarship na
scholarship
yan.
talaga siya.
Wow.
Kasi and that's, I haven't told this yet. I haven't said my thanks to FEU, but the FEU culture committee, they really support artists, and that's what we actually need.
Well,
Kasi
yes,
I
I agree.
have always believed that the thing that separates artists from success, from the limelight, is resources
And support.
and support actually. Kasi alam mo yung talent, nandiyan yan eh, but you
Yeah.
have to hone it.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
just an internal one. It's both the external and internal. And I'm like, thank you for that because nakagraduate ako sa mass comm and alam mo yun, I've spent years in theater. So production, acting, lighting,
Lahat
whatever,
talaga.
lahat, while also doing my studies in mass communication, in communication. So basically buong ano yun, mass media. And while doing freelance work. Yeah. So yun
Wow.
talaga yung like it's more like a full circle.
Oo,
Parang alam ko na
oo.
dito na ako eh. Parang dati meron pang clash na okay, science ba talaga or art? And then ngayon as generic as it is like art, at least specified na art.
Oo,
Na parang
yes.
kahit saan ako dito, kaya nga sabi ko parang when people ask me what do you do, sabi ko depends on the time. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, do you want me to direct? Do you want me to produce? Do you want me to write? Do you want me to whatever? I can do that because I think that the experiences that I had, I can use it.
And when you said that you can do everything, it's not only average that you can do. You excel in everything that you do.
Okay. Are you familiar with the phrase na jack of all trades,
Master of none. Yes.
but still better than a master of one?
Yes.
Parang ako kasi I redefine it based on how I see it. Jack of all trades, master of some.
Yeah.
So master of
Yes.
some talaga kasi yun yung gusto ko na we are in this generation kasi na it's a slash generation. It's
Yeah.
how much you can provide and how much value you put into
In the
whatever
marketplace
that.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So parang sabi ko, oy, parang it's enough, it's not enough to do a lot of things. Parang ang goal ko is to do greatly on all those things.
Yeah, great
simultaneously.
eh.
So
Oo.
yun, again, that was a conscious decision to train myself na, oy, hindi ka lang dapat magaling sa ganito.
Oo.
Kailangan magaling ka din sa ganito, ganito. And you know, and eventually.
What you are right now.
Well, it was a difficult kasi 4 years pa lang ako dito.
4
Na
years pa
consistent.
lang.
Kasi 'di ba when I was finishing in FE, in the Philippines in FEU.
I forgot you're only nga pala 27. Grabe.
Yeah. So when I went back to the
Oo.
Philippines, every summer lang ako nandito sa States. So pag nandito ako, so 'di ba my day-to-day schedule is
Oo.
like just study and then work. And then syempre pag break, dapat nagbe-break din ako.
Oh,
Hindi,
of
pero
course,
pag break
yes.
nandito ako,
Yeah.
naghahanap ako ng part-time. So I experienced being a barista, I experienced being a merchandiser, I experienced
Hardworking ka talaga.
kasi parang
Grabe.
sabi ko, wait, anong gagawin ko sa oras ko?
Yes,
kung
yes, of
kung
course.
hihiga lang ako, kung
Yeah.
matutulog lang ako,
You want it
or
more
whatnot.
productive and
Very
learn.
productive and
Ikaw
learn.
kasi, I think what I see is you're doing it to learn more
Really
ideas
to learn.
na, oo.
Kasi gusto ko yung nakikilite yung utak ko.
Oo.
Parang, uy, alam mo yun, that I think
Which
that's
is good. I mean, not everyone has that, mental tough. That's not everyone because like, me being a nurse and then transitioning to finance and now being a host, they always tells me, how come you can do everything? I was like, it's so easy
It's so
because
easy.
once you love what you
Yeah.
do, it doesn't even feel like it's work, and
Yeah.
that's what I see on you.
Yeah,
as
but I
well.
mean, don't get us wrong. When we say
Yeah.
it's easy, it doesn't mean that it's not exhausting. It's still physically exhausting. It's mentally taxing. But
Yes.
the fact that may intention ka kasi.
May fulfillment ka
May fulfillment, may
Parang may
motivation ka
purpose
kasi.
ka. Like being here and you're telling that to your, audience, our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a lot of people that also in your position, but then they are afraid to, to be out
Mm.
and telling those people because, people always judge you like, ano na naman yan? Diba? Laging ganun yan eh. Parang they're
Oo.
already limiting you na parang you should just be a nurse. You should just be doing this. You're already making a lot of money. Why do you have to do other things? Diba?
Yeah,
Parang ang
yeah.
daming ganun. So now tell me more about your Hiraya Media kasi dyan kita nakilala.
Oo,
I reach
nagpakilala
out to
ako
you.
eh.
I reach out to you. I think that was 2 months doing the Wendy Lindo show and then I saw your profile. So tell me more about the Hiraya Media.
Okay, so I am actually the COO, the co-founder and COO of Hiraya Media. So basically, Hiraya Media, it's a digital media company. We are scattered around the world. So Filipino millennials scattered around the world. So my co-founder, she's in the Silicon Valley. We have our creative director. He's in New York. People our editor-in-chief and managing editor both in the Philippines. So kalat-kalat talaga because we only have one goal, that's to tap Filipinos, regardless of wherever you are, regardless of what the demographics, what you've achieved or whatever, and we want you to tell your story because Hiraya is an ancient Tagalog word which means imagination. It means vision, and we want to tap into that vision because personally, I mean, I'm not yet that successful in my own metrics. I'm not successful kasi syempre ang dami pang plano.
Oo.
Pero I am where I am because I had an imagination. I was able to imagine where will I be in the future. It's not as accurate, it's not as precise, but the fact that you have that imagination, you have that vision na okay, at this time I will do this, I will do this, I will do this, and then eventually I saw myself co-founding an organization that tells people to tell their stories. Kasi I've been in the mainstream back in the Philippines. So, alam mo yun, I have that experience, and I am actually sad with how they do programming na ang nagkakaroon lang ng platform for their stories to be heard are people with achievements.
Oo.
And I'm like, so if I did not have any achievement, or if I am not featured in whatever, search or whatever awards, then my stories are not worthy to
parang
tell.
eliminated na.
Parang, alam mo yun, parang, I believe, and again, I told you, I see the beauty in conversations.
Yes.
And it's mostly the conversations that tell the stories.
Yeah.
Diba? And I wanted people to have that kind of a... So this is actually a privilege for me because people can hear my story.
Yes.
And I can freely tell my story. And I want this to be the same for all the people out there, for all the artists, the creators, the performers, musicians, storytellers, and even the normal people who are living their lives. Kasi it's worth telling.
Kasi parang every person has their own story that you can learn from.
Yeah, and that's
And
the
they should
beauty
be
of
heard
life.
also, yes.
That's the beauty of life.
That's
The
true.
different images, the different sounds of stories.
Yeah.
Ang ganda kaya pakinggan. Like, alam mo yun, yung and I know you have this, yung mga random instances that you meet people.
Yeah.
Kanina, na-meet ko si Kuya Brandon, his story. So, I'm like, wait, as early as this hour, I learned something. And I'm like, that is the beauty of life, meeting people, being at the crossroads, and then just, exchanging.
Anywhere, di ba?
Anywhere. And I'm
Minsan
like,
nga, by faith.
oh, I mean, I did not, think
Me
about
too, yeah.
this happening,
Yes.
but then it just happened, and I'm like,
Yes,
yeah,
it just
I'm go for it
happened.
because
Yeah.
that's an avenue
Oo.
for like my stories to be heard, to be amplified, and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay,
Which is good. And I like what you said about vision because that's what we really need in the, Napoleon Hill. Vision is the one that actually grows an organization because without vision, people perish. And that's what I like about you is more imaginative, imagination because you can see, you can see where other people don't. And I like that about you.
So, okay, lagi ko itong sinasabi when I get invited for like collegiate talks and stuff like that. Sabi ko, only when you can imagine what you want to be or where you want to be, that is the first stage of manifestation. Kasi when you manifest, it's different when you just say it.
Yes.
Parang, okay, magiging milyonaryo ako. Pero pag naisip mo siya na, okay, how are you gonna be a millionaire?
Yes.
Or what are you gonna do with the million you're getting?
Yeah.
That starts the like the process of
Yes.
manifestation. So I'm like, when you start imagining things, that is the only way when something becomes truth, something becomes reality.
Alam mo, totoo yan. Kasi like, when I told you they're gonna guest diba today, I already know, sabi ko, you know what? He's gonna be wearing leather. I already know. Sabi ko, this is gonna be our conversation. I know he's gonna be wearing leather jacket or like a boots. But,
On brand.
diba? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna wear something that,
That's imagination.
I know, diba?
That's
Sabi ko,
imagination.
kaya kanina, sabi ko, no, not that. No, this one. And then suddenly, I saw this. I was like, that's the perfect one for Christian.
Actually, kagabi. So I was at an event last night when you called. Tapos sabi ko, for like the moment you called up until na nagpa-pack up na kami, iniisip ko, ano nang isusuot ko? Ano yung isusuot ko? Ano yung isusuot ko? So, I was thinking about, making my staple, my leather jacket, and then the spray
Oo.
mask. Pero sabi ko, hala, mukha naman akong magre-release ng album nun. Sabi ko, parang hindi naman, baka
No.
mamislead ko yung mga tao. So, sabi ko, sige, I'd like to tone it down. Gusto ko naman ng color para, alam mo yun.
Which is great. I mean, I
Dreamy.
like it, 'di ba? Sabi ko nga para tong hip-hop or rapper. Do you sing or
No, I
rap?
don't sing.
Oh, you don't
So, okay,
sing.
sabi nila, diba, 98% of Filipinos can sing.
Oh.
I am part of the 2% who can. So,
I think I'm part of that too.
konti na lang tayo.
Konti na lang.
Pero yun, 2%.
That's why
hindi talaga.
I always hang out with mga talented, mga singers. Maybe I can also
Uy, baka naman,
inherit. Di ba
konti
sabi
namang
niya,
talent.
whoever you hang out with, you're gonna be,
Yeah.
like, let's say you hang out with 5 people that are singers, you're gonna be the 6th one. Kaya I hang out with, Garth, like, all
Garth,
the,
shout out to you, Garth.
Garth, actually, I saw Christian at Garth's concert. Sabi ko, oy, we have to go.
Yan.
Grabe. And you also directed that
I
show,
directed
diba?
that show.
Galing. Yeah.
So, depende talaga, depende. Kasi, I considered myself as a multidisciplinary producer.
Grabe yan. Can you
Hindi ko
parang,
rin alam eh. Nakita ko lang sa LinkedIn eh.
natakot naman ako.
Nakita ko lang sa LinkedIn, parang ang ganda na itong
Ang ganda
going
niyo.
bio.
Ano nga? Sige nga. Multidisciplinary.
producer.
Sige nga. Ano ba ibig sabihin niya? No, which is, it's perfect.
So, okay,
Especially
for the longest time, I have, kasi di ba, lagi akong tinatanong ng mga tao, even on job interviews. Kaya parang, na-realize ko din na pang freelance talaga ako. Kasi on job interviews, people would be like, okay, so what do you do? And I'm like, okay, so how am I gonna say this? Paano ko sasabihin na I do this without you thinking that, alam mo yun, nakalat ako. Alam mo yan, na parang scattered yung thoughts ko and stuff. Because I'm not. Ganun lang talaga ako mag-function. Like multidisciplinary, whatever format, whatever platform. Parang game ako dun. Kasi, I mean, my first degree was communication. So it's basically media. And media is like the plural of medium. A medium carries the message.
Yes.
So however a message needs to be transported, however a message needs to be delivered, I want to be familiar with that.
Yes.
So it can be film, it can be marketing, it can be advertising, it can be theater, it can be broadcasting, it can be fashion, it can be anything that can hold a message. And it's not just, a message is not just something you can hear or something you can read. It's something you can see, you can feel. It's really sensational. And I'm like, okay, parang mas gusto ko na ma-consider ako na jack of all trades kesa maging sabihin nila na, uy, ito, sobrang galing na director or producer or actor or host nito. Ayoko kasi it's very limiting to me. So when I encountered the word multidisciplinary, sabi ko, oh yeah, that's multidisciplines.
Yeah.
Kasi I can be in business at one point, I can be in art at one point, I can be in tech, production, wherever I want, I can produce. So hence,
love
naging
that.
multidisciplinary producer. And I actually went to school for that. I went to the LA Film School. I graduated entertainment business. So basically, ito yung focus na ngayon na like kailangan very, very business-oriented, but in entertainment industry. And I graduated on top of the class of LA Film
No
School.
question asked. Before I ask it, I'm already like thinking, he's probably number 1 again.
So yeah, yun naman.
Yes.
Kasi
Oh my
parang may cheat
God,
code na ako nun eh.
grabe.
Kasi meron akong degree eh.
Yeah.
So
Parang,
nung,
ano na lang yung
it
second,
was a breeze. And then yun, dun ko na-realize nga na there is really business with entertainment. And that's what I'm doing right now with Hiraya. So, Hiraya Media, I am the COO. But I'm releasing this new arm, this production house arm of Hiraya Media. It's called Hiraya Studios. And I
Is
think
that the one that I always see on Facebook? Yung may green na siya.
green screen.
Green
Yeah, because I'm
screen.
actually doing a talk show
Hey, you
too.
did a great parang post where you can have different di ba? Parang iba't ibang mga lugar. I like
So
that.
yun, YouTube Academy din yun. I learned how to edit
Okay.
that green screen in 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, wait. So ano pa
Galing,
inaantay ko? So sabi ko, kaya ko naman I mean, I can host.
Yeah.
I have a studio. I have equipment, and I can edit. So parang, okay, let's do this.
Let's do
Kaya,
it.
kaya multidisciplinary
Well,
producer.
Christian, you know what? Maybe excited na rin yung mga audience that are watching right now because of what you're sharing to them. Why don't you also invite them where they can find you?
Okay, so it's at Chan Reasonda.
Grabe, para namang
CH.
model
Oh, ang ganda
yan.
talaga
Na
nitong
bla. Grabe.
naka-platinum hairs.
Parang
Ano yan?
LV model.
Joshua Tree. Pero yun
Oh,
yung
I
ano
like
yan. Yun
that.
yung imagination yan. Sabi ko, if I were to be, ang dami ko talaga sinasabi, no? But if I were to be like a cover, like in GQ or in Vogue Italia or whatever. Sabi ko, sige, gagawin ko. But anyway, at Chan Reasonda across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and Kumu at Chan Reasonda, ChanReasonda. And also, I just recently launched my YouTube channel. It's the Chris Channel. Yeah, I'm waiting on the Chris Channel because my name is Christian. Anyway, the Chris Channel on Facebook, on YouTube. Bale, meron pa akong isang video doon. It's a my Hawaii vlog. So it's a docu-treatment. So watch it if you can. And then one more, www.hirayamedia.com. So if you're a Filipino who wants to tell their story, or if you're a brand who wants help with their brand storytelling, or whichever, just message me. I'd be happy to help.
All right, Christian, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Grabe, Filipino pride talaga. And there's a lot of things parang years ahead of you eh. Maybe you're gonna be, ano na yan parang ikaw na yung iba't ibang may-ari ng
Okay,
production.
I just want to manifest this out loud.
You should,
I
okay.
really wanted to be the first Filipino to win an Oscar.
Wow.
Like no joke. Hindi siya parang, oh my God. Ano
I think
yan?
yung dream ko is smaller one. Now I heard your kasi ako,
no.
I just wanted to get there. Attend. Ikaw talaga to get the nomination.
I
to be
wanna
there.
I wanna be
Yes.
nominated. Kasi I mean that's representation at its finest.
You
Wala
know, that's
pa
what,
eh.
I really like what you're telling me right now. Kasi you're not the first person, but the way you think, like you always say us, because you represent us, the Filipino, the country, diba?
Oh, wow.
Kasi there are people, diba, parang every time they're already on the peak of their career, they're forgetting about other people, how they can also reach out and help. Parang, this is how I felt. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I felt like there's a few people when they're already, a celebrity status, parang it's so hard to
Chika minute.
reach out na parang, hey,
Yeah.
we're trying hard to also one of the representation of our country and help us naman, di ba? It's not because me doing this, it's not to be popular talaga eh. Parang I saw, because I'm a nurse, I'm already helping, patients. I have that TLC eh. And then went to finance, teaching them financial education. It's more of education and
Yeah.
bringing good people to also the audience can learn some nuggets from them. Yeah.
Actually, I just want to say,
Okay.
this is actually representation at its finest. Because,
Thank
di ba
you.
sinabi ko kanina na wala pa ako nakikita na Filipina who has a talk show of this caliber. And we need this. Kasi the world is migrating on the digital sphere. And on that said, parang everything is easily accessible. Therefore, madali kang makakuha ng bagong market or madali kang matabunan. And when this kind of a sound of a Filipino, pag yan natabunan, that is where representation should matter. Kasi madami masyadong, lahat kasi, they're battling for eyeballs, they're battling for ears. That's the game of media. That's the game of digital media, actually, of virality, basically. And when people cannot identify anymore themselves through someone they see, because media is a reflection of reality. It's a mirror of reality. If they don't mirror a reality that is not their reality, they tend to be lost.
Yes.
And kaya ako nag-message sa'yo nung nakita ko to, yung interview mo with Garth, is because this is something big, actually, for Filipinos here in the States, because this is representation. I mean, you told me na, alam mo yun, you're new to hosting, and I really get that, and I can see that, but that is, just the sound of it. just the sound of it. That is representation. Because how many of the people here in the States sound like you? About how you talk, how you speak, how you interact with people. Masyado na kasing masyado ng parang rehearsed lahat. Na parang hindi mo na alam ano yung authentic, ano yung something very parang cookie cutter mold na lahat. And then here you are doing this talk show, sounding as Wendy Lindo. I mean, that's so mind-blowing and that's beautiful.
Thank
to
you.
See, to
I
see.
appreciate that. Getting that message from you, Christian.
Grabe.
Hindi kasi I wanted to just convey a message like to all the Filipinos, celebrities or like singers or just a, normal, average, not average, like just like us. I'm an average, person na parang instead of parang labanan sa collaboration na lang kasi we're here to actually
you know what, to be honest, I'm slowly learning the word collaboration kasi my years yung years ko since I shifted and everything, mag-isa ako like lumalaban ako mag-isa, parang kaya din nagkaroon ng drive to understand and do this greatly. It's because I wasn't able to ask help from people. And now I'm slowly learning to collaborate because I feel like when you collaborate with like-minded individuals, it's
grow yung community.
Yeah. And it doesn't just get the work done. It gets somewhere. It builds somewhere and it builds something. And I'm like, that is what we need. Tulong-tulong na tayo kasi ngayon it's really parang a tricky moment where we're at.
Di ba yung merong doon quote? Tides, parang lift all boats. Di ba?
Yeah.
We need people na parang magkaroon ng parang collaboration to really go to further. Kaya ganon. So ngayon, alam mo, kanina ko pa tinatanong I know you're also doing Kumu and Twitch. Pwede bang turuan mo ako ano ba yung Kumu at Twitch?
Oh, okay.
And how these people can also monetize? Kasi hindi lang naman ako. Parang I got interested. So, ano ba yung Kumu?
Okay, so Kumu na lang tayo since exclusive ako sa Kumu.
Oo, wag mo yung Twitch.
Direct competitor kasi si
Joke
Twitch.
lang.
At saka what's great with Kumu,
sige.
it's because it's founded by Filipinos.
Okay.
So, it's an all-Filipino team. They founded Kumu. So, basically, Kumu is a live streaming app that you can just freely use and you can earn from it. So there are like virtual gifts na nagsisend doon. There are a lot. It has been an avenue for Filipinos around the world actually, and mainly in the Philippines, lalo yung mga artists kasi diba underrepresented and part of the minority in the Philippines. And then the pandemic hit, and then here came Kumu with a shining promise to all these creators, to all these storytellers. And they provided the platform. It's a live streaming app. You can live stream whatever you want. So, meron tayong mga talk show hosts doon. May mga podcasters. May mga performers.
So, hindi lang
singers.
singer?
Hindi lang.
Oh, wow.
Because, I had my show on Kumu. It's called The Media Geek. So, that's where I talked about concepts, theories in media and entertainment in Philippine and in the world industry. So parang sabi ko, okay, if I can do this, what's stopping everyone from just doing live? So basically, it's just a live stream. So parang nag-live ka sa Facebook or sa Instagram. But the only difference is that it's an app dedicated to live streaming. So walang kalaban na ibang algorithms. It's just live streaming. People freely enter, people freely go. And then,
is there an app that a person needs to download before they can? Kumu.
Yeah,
Kumu lang.
Yeah.
And it's all over the world yan?
It's all over the world.
All over the world.
Actually, ang ganda nga ng recent data nila because number 1 sila sa Philippines, number 3 Singapore, number 1 somewhere else, number 1. Basta ang galing.
Wow.
Kasi sabi ko, wait, if you have this kind
Sali
of
ako dyan.
Yeah. If you have that kind of a mileage, that kind of a reach around the world, yun yung sobrang talino kasi 'di ba? Filipinos are around the world. Wherever you are, there is a Filipino, and when they are proud of an app that is made by Filipinos, they would they would
Yes.
patronize it. Facebook soon, siguro in the next 2, 3, 5 years, would be gone. Because Facebook is our internet. It has
Yes.
been for like the past decade.
Yes.
But now the dawn of Kumu, of live streaming, of a
Wow.
Filipino-owned, run and led organization, that's gonna be the future of us. And it's when talent and resources come together.
Are you part of Kumu, like an endorser or like an
No,
ambassador?
no. I'm actually friends are in Kumu. They got me to guest, to host, whatever. I just love it. Na parang this is pure intention. This is smart. This is I like anything that's intelligent, that's
Yes,
well
of
thought
course.
out.
AI, ah.
Oo, yung gano'n. Tapos sabi ko, parang gusto kong aralin to. And then that gives me like an avenue to what? To do my podcast, to talk.
Yeah.
Basically to talk.
To teach din.
To
Kasi
teach
sabi mo
them.
nga,
Yeah,
meron ka
I
mga
do the
contents
podcast.
din,
Yeah. And then eventually,
Wow.
nag-connect lang. Tapos I help, them. But I'm not exclusive. I'm exclusively supporting them because I see the
Yes,
future of it.
Yes.
But I'm not a part of them.
Okay, got it.
So, alam yan. This is not a sponsored ad.
Oo nga, but, parang we're just giving them parang education lang. If there's also another platform,
Yeah.
why not try the Kumu?
Yeah, try Kumu.
Try
It's
Kumu.
fun.
You know what? This is a Christmas presentation natin. So, lagi kong tinatanong, may isang question. What is your wish this holiday season?
Oh, wow. Hindi ako ready dun, ah.
Sabi mo, di ba?
Wow,
Authentic.
oh,
At saka
shit.
ko, whatever is in your mind lang. Huwag ka magtago dyan.
Bigla akong inisip. Sabi ng utak ko, wait, search answer. Ano kaya isasagot ko?
Oh, Google. di ba?
Ito, sige, from the heart.
From the heart. Kasi ganun naman ang ano ko lagi. Ang
Very MMK
conversation
ito.
ko.
Very MMK.
Okay,
Because
sige.
since the time I moved to the Philippines, I never actually... Oh my God, naiiyak ako.
Bernard, asa na dyan yun?
I never
Hindi.
actually had the chance to celebrate Christmas with my family. Kasi parang laging, I always, and that's another conscious decision to be busy on holidays and be not busy on downtimes. Kasi para wala akong kasabay. Kunyari mag-rest ako para wala akong kasabay. But I think my wish for the holiday season, and I think it's gonna be, kasi kagabi lang ako nag-decide na umuwi sa Bay. Because my family's in the Bay. I am
In the
alone
Bay
here.
Area.
Yung pala yung hindi ko nakwento.
Okay.
When I moved 2017 kasi from the Philippines, when I graduated in FEU, I moved to the Bay, where my family is at, East Bay, and then I had to work with the Filipino channel. Tapos, so yun. Tapos parang sabi ko, no, this is not my turf. Hindi ko na feel yung Bay. And I'm so sorry. But hindi ko na, parang alam mo yun, again, the environment, it
Yeah.
affects you. And you know it. And I knew it. Na it did not affect me as much as I want. So I moved to LA. Sabi ko, okay, move ako dito. Kasi, well, this is the entertainment
Hub.
of the States. And it's a 45-minute flight from San Francisco. So why
Yes.
not? So I made a leap of faith again after like what? 1 year? Puro na lang leap of faith. sanay na ako mag-leap of faith. That's my cardio.
Yeah.
Leap of faith.
Oh.
Hindi ako
Maganda
nag-jump
yan,
rope.
leap of
Nag-leap of
faith,
faith
yeah.
ako. But yeah, so when I moved, ever since, hindi ko na talaga na-celebrate yung Christmas
With them.
with them. So
So,
parang kagabi, I decided na, oy, it's now time to parang just be with them. Kasi, we're just coming out of the pandemic.
Of course, yeah.
That shattered us in different levels, in different layers.
Yes.
And what stays is the concept of family.
What's important
What's
talaga.
important. And I parang,
Yes.
I need that. So that's my wish, to celebrate with them.
With them.
Well, it's different kasi, di ba, again, extended family ako growing up. So I celebrate every holiday with my titos, my titas, mga pinsan ko, lola ko, and my family, mga kapatid ko. Pero parang, since 2013, it has been...
Ay, tagal na.
Yeah. It's gonna be a decade. And, when things happen for more than a decade, it becomes a culture. It becomes something. And I don't want I don't want that. Yung magkakawatak-watak.
Oo,
Kasi
of course.
sabi nila, di ba, baka nga niro-romanticize mo lang yung concept ng
Oo.
Christmas or ng New Year. But say as much as you want, but if that's romanticizing, then why not? I
Oo,
mean,
yeah.
I see the beauty in it, and that recharges me, that gives me
Yes.
energy. And for like almost 10 years now, I have
Wow.
been losing that kind of
Parang relationship din na
oo, yung
yeah.
ganong habit, yung ganong practice with the family.
It was a choice. Your choice.
It was a choice, and also parang destiny. Kasi if that's not, if whatever happened did not
Yes.
happen, then I don't know where I am.
Yeah, true.
Di ba? But alam mo yun, we always have to endure.
Of course.
We have to endure kasi that's the only way that we can grow when we know how to endure.
Parang you have to give up something,
Yeah,
di ba?
you have to give up something.
You have to give up something to be...
And that's a constant.
Yeah.
Oh, kasi you can't have it all eh.
Well, you will. Ayun yung... well, ang wish ko is, yes, celebrate it with your family.
Yeah. So that's my wish.
That's yes. And then, parang start brand new, parang relationship. Parang mas ano yun eh. Parang mas parang alam mo yun, when you're doing great things, parang you're always feeding a lot of people about information. And then going back to talagang yung kung saan ka nagsimula. It's a great thing then. Yeah. Pero sino yung nag-inspire sa'yo ngayon doing what you're doing right now?
Wow, another. Grabe naman po yung mga tanungan dito. What inspires me was the
Para alam nilang wala talaga akong script. Hindi talaga authentic.
Grabe.
Gusto ko. Kasi
Na-shook
ano yung
ako.
nakita ko yung hard work mo eh. Hindi ko alam bakit mo ginagawa to everyday na waking up. Like, wala ka pang tulog, pumunta ka dito. Pero
Sanay
bakit?
naman na.
Sanay na.
Hindi, pero my inspiration, paano ko ito sasagutin? Siguro, on top of my head, would be that kid, that Christian Reasonda, who did not know what he wants. Kasi parang, I consider that as one of my darkest moments. Kasi talagang, alam mo yung, you have that thought, you have that thinking capacity, but you are not able to think of what you're gonna do. So na-realize ko na lang yan like years after that. So I think that is my inspiration kasi I don't want to go back to that moment na hindi ko alam yung gagawin ko. It was really dark. Actually, nangyari yon again nung pandemic. Kasi diba, syempre, mag-isa ka dito. So I was left alone. It was a dark moment for me. But that inspired me kasi sabi ko, without that, walang springboard eh. Yun yung springboard eh. Kaya naman ako nagkatapult in my own right. That Christian Reasonda, that kid, is my inspiration kasi he knows how to dream.
Yes.
He knows how to think, he knows how to do, he knows how to move, but he doesn't know how to start it. So ngayon na alam ko na kung paano simulan, kung paano itutulak yung sarili ko, kung paano makipag-usap sa mga tao. That's my inspiration kasi parang nanggaling ako dun sa moment na hindi ko alam kung paano eh. Tapos ngayon parang okay, move. Kasi diba, inspired ka? Yun. So that's my inspiration. And then,
parang you always want to be the new version of you every year. Diba? It gets better and better. Yan, Pero at the young age, where do you see yourself now? Parang, syempre, ang dami mo ng mga, ginagawa. And then, what other things you wanted to achieve? Because you already achieved so many things.
Grabe. Ano ba? What do I want? I want to have my own talk show. Like I want to be the Filipino Joe Rogan.
Wow, I
Like kasi sabi
si Bradley, ano.
Sabi ko kasi parang okay.
Bagay sa'yo.
Sabi ko kasi parang
ang galing magaling.
Grabe, salamat.
At saka lahat may sense yung mga
thank you. Thank you. Pero kasi sabi ko parang okay, yung quality, yung parang ano yung requirements, okay lang parang hindi ka tumatahimik. Sabi ko, that's me. That's me. I can talk for hours.
Hindi kasi yung opinion mo, which
sobrang opinionated
grabe.
ko.
Hindi, Hindi, maganda yun. Maganda, maganda.
Sobra.
Parang you can always extract something from your guest pag ikaw yung nanonood show.
Ayun,
Oo.
that's why the
Gusto
yung
ko
pinost ko,
yan. Sige.
nagka-talk show,
Oo.
yun. And I also see myself directing events. And actually, recently ko lang din naisip na gusto ko na bumalik sa acting. Because I was a theater actor back in the Philippines. I spent like 3-4 years in theater. And I'm like, ano siya, like basic to advance yun yung levels ng training namin. And I miss that. Kasi in acting, you're able to be not yourself. And be someone else. And understand that story. It's a new life,
Parang
basically.
hirap nun.
Sobrang mahirap siya, but when you get it, it's freeing. Kasi you get to understand people because you live on their shoes.
Yes, yun nga
So, sabi ko parang that would boost my siguro emotional capacity, emotional quotient when I go back to acting again, because that is the only moment, conscious decision again to get out of yourself. Okay, hindi ka muna si Christian Reasonda, ikaw ay
Ayun
isang...
nga eh. How hard is it? Kasi di ba parang inaano mo yung sarili mo na ibang persona eh.
It's hard if you don't have imagination.
Ayun. So it's always
Kasi
that.
you imagine
Parang
it.
kailangan
okay, ano
gawin mo
kaya
yung
ang
ano mo
ginagawa?
yan.
Ano kaya ang sinasabi ng isang, isang drug addict na nagre-rehab? Because I had that as a role.
Okay.
Ano kaya yung gagawin? O kaya isang lalaki na mahal niya yung babae tapos nakipag-break sa kanya. Ano yung feeling na gano'n? And when you imagine that,
I-emote mo yun eh.
ilalabas mo yun na parang, okay, if you think, it's very subjective kasi it's your mind eh. It's your own self deciding on how this is, or kaya, pero again, that's when directors come to play. They would direct you and okay, maganda tong choice na to, maganda tong choice na to. So but I would love to act again. I want to challenge myself.
Well, 2022 for sure.
I know.
Di ba manifestation niya every day eh.
Yun nga
Whatever you put in your mind, di ba?
Ito
Whatever you conceive.
Actually, I want to challenge myself. Sabi ko, hindi ko pa kasi nagagawa masyado yung calendar for 2022 kasi ang dami nangyayari ngayong December. Biglang ang dami nangyayari. But anyway, I want to challenge myself to write, direct, edit, and act.
Write it down. Kasi talagang whatever you write down,
Yeah.
talagang
Pero may script na ako eh. Like,
Talaga?
madami akong script na naisulat na. Like, screenplay siya for a short film. And I'm trying to get the resources to make it all come together. But essentially, yun, gusto ko talagang i-challenge sa sarili ko na parang one-man team.
Well, kaya mo yan. I think lahat ng gagawin mo talaga, you can do it. And you can also excel on everything.
Grabe.
Di ba? So ngayon, sabihin mo naman, wala na naman to saan natin. If there is one word that can describe you, how can you describe yourself?
First of all, thank you for that wonderful question. Teka lang. If one word.
One word lang. How would you...
That's so hard. That's so difficult. I haven't
like gifted.
described myself as that. I don't know.
Just one word. Ano lang, hypothetical.
Sige.
Parang laro tayo. Di ba minsan may 3 seconds. Come on.
Word. One word. I am creative.
Creative.
There. Again, recently ko lang din narinig yun.
Creative.
Sinabi sa akin, creative daw ako.
Dalawa yung nakuha ko sa creative tsaka multidisciplinary.
Well, creative, multidisciplinary. Just dropping words here and there. Pero hindi, creative. Kasi, and I think I am in the right moment to claim that I am creative. Kasi parang, yun nga, it took me a pandemic to make me realize that I'm an artist. That I can tell something, that I'm creative and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm creative kasi wherever in life, and it's not just in media and entertainment. It's my trials, it's my strife, it's my journey as a person. Creativity played a vital role in how I navigated across, how I navigated through everything. How you approach a problem, how you approach a conflict, a decision. Creative, very creative.
I like that word. Ang
Creative.
galing See, na-tickle ko yung mind mo
Galing. Andyan ka pala eh.
Andyan pala eh. So one last question. Do you have any quote that you live by? Na parang favorite na parang it motivates you when you know, hear it or you read it or something na you always in your mind na you live by.
Again, thank you for the wonderful question.
I love
ang
Christian.
Ang hirap nitong sagutin. Okay, on top of the mind, philosophically, cogito ergo sum. So it's from René Descartes. It means, I think, therefore I exist. So the moment that you think, the moment that, you know, alam mo yun, yung may naiisip ka, oh,
Yeah.
this is a flower.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a light.
Yeah.
You think, therefore you exist. So that means that's the only proof that you need for you to believe that you are existing, that you are living.
Yes.
The moment that you think that you are thinking, yun. So that's more on the philosophical side, but more on the human side. Siguro,
You're so deep. Hindi,
alam
I
mo,
like it.
ang dami.
I heard that eh. Kaya sabi ko, wow.
I
Ibang
think
klase
therefore
po
I
talaga
exist.
tong bata na to.
Cogito. Gusto ko nga ipatato yun eh, cogito ergo sum.
Oo nga.
Pero in baybayin. But anyway, ano pa ba? Anong quote na something? Grabe na may mental block ako.
Hindi, I think you know what you said.
With cogito ergo sum.
Oh,
Basically that's on top of my head. So that's something I
love
live
that
by.
message. Wow. Well, it's an amazing conversation with you. Grabe. Pati yung mind ko
Mind blown.
I learned something today. That's what I like about doing the show. Kasi every guest I have, I also learn
Ganda,
something. Oo, ang ganda. And then I get to build a new relationship, diba? Which is, for sure, we're gonna collaborate.
Oo naman.
Any
If
other
you need
things?
anything
Yes, thank you so much. Any other things that you wanted to add before we end? And it's Christmas and soon to be New Year.
I wanna be very spiritual because I've learned I've recently tapped into that potential. Alam mo, certified tarot reader ako.
No way.
Diba?
Do you know I love tarot?
Talaga? So, na-bore lang ako noon. Parang sabi ko, I need an art form. I need an expression.
Ay, kailangan ko yan.
Nakita ko sa Amazon,
talaga.
naka-sale ang tarot cards. Inaral ko siya. And then I'm like, wow, this is
For how many days or how many
Inaral? Well,
months, weeks?
I spent like 3 weeks understanding like the basics of it. And then sabi ko, hindi, magbabasa na lang ako. So binabasa ko lang siya. Ganun siya.
Grabe talaga tong bata na to. If you're gonna look at my, you know what? I believe, of course, God, exists naman talaga. And, but this is like for fun. If you're gonna look on my YouTube, I always checking yung my sign.
Talaga?
What's it for 2022? Last night, like, I would like
What
check.
is your sign? When is your birthday?
Sagittarius, November 23rd.
That's a fire sign.
Adventurous,
Yeah.
fire sign. And born,
Yeah.
I don't want to say the year, but next year is my year of the tiger.
Claim you have a power on that year. Kasi normally when it's your year, when it's your kasi birth year, that's
Yeah.
a cycle. So that's a
Talaga?
start of a cycle for you.
Kaya nga I wore this one. Akala ko
Yeah.
tiger, yung pala snake yata.
Year of the tiger
Yes, I
ka.
am year of the
Wow,
tiger.
that explains the
Yes.
that kind of aura.
Oh, really?
That power.
Oh, see,
aura.
nagtarot card. Hoy, mamaya yung ko, extended reading.
Oo naman, ako po.
Well, thank you again, Christian Reasonda,
problem.
for all the things that you've done today. And I hope everyone also learned a lot of nuggets from Christian. Don't forget to also follow me on YouTube channel, The Wendy Lindo Show. And I'll see you again tomorrow for my Christmas edition.